Hey everybody, I'm Jake, product manager here with Sync Mind Safety. This video is meant to be an end-to-end walkthrough of the Sync Mind Safety platform, just to give you a better idea of how it works and how it might be able to fit into your current processes. To start with, I'd like to give you a little background. So basically, we created this software as a group of technology consultants in the mining industry. When we saw just how much headache mines were having around managing the safety training process. So the goal was to leverage modern technology to make the process faster, easier, and more effective to provide a better training experience. So to do this, we spent a ton of time down in the mines talking with the trainers, the managers, and all the other stakeholders in the process. And what you're looking at is really the culminations of years of research and development around mine safety training. So the software itself is actually two parts. There's a web portal that's for administrative purposes, doing things like managing your employees, managing your training materials, and viewing, who's done what trainings and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what we're looking at now. The other side is the native application, which is where trainers actually administer their trainings to the operators. So we're going to start by just looking through the administrative portal. And as you can see, to start with, we're here on the employee list tab. So this is just a list of all the employees at all my mines. We've got easy search and filter functionality, so if I'm looking for one particular person, I can just punch in their name or their username or email, whatever I want to look by. And we also integrate directly into your HR or ERP system. So these notifications here are coming live out of an ERP system, and we're automatically mirroring things like supervisor changes and new hires and fires directly in this list based automatically off of that system. You can put in users and that kind of information manually, but we also can do it automatically. This is also where you can set up campaign lists. So if I check any of these groups here, I can add them to a user list and later assign them a campaign to, say, complete their annual recertifications by this date or complete a certain SOP training by a certain date as part of a campaign. So that's the basics of what you can do there on the employee list tab. And next we'll take a look at the training records. So training records are really the heart of the mine safety training process, right? This is where you see your 5023 documents and all that kind of stuff. So this is the list of each employee, the task code they trained on, and when they did it. And I got all kinds of filters over here if I want to chop and view that information. Right now I'm looking at 5023s, but I could easily switch over and check out the SOP trainings as well. And then straight from this page, if I wanted information or if I wanted to actually pull up their saved document, I could just click on them and let that thing spin up, and it's going to spit me out their signed and completed 5023 document for that task code. So really quick, really easy way to make sure all the documents you need are right in front of you. No scanning necessary. Next, we'll look at the campaigns. Now, as I mentioned, campaigns are basically there for taking a group of users and assigning them something they have to do by a certain date. So if you had a new task code that all of your miner 3s needed to be trained on, you could create a campaign, stick that list into it, and then you'd be tracking their progress, and you could see who started that training, who's completed that training, when they completed it, and all of that kind of information. So the next tab is for the actual task codes, and this is where you can see all the trainings you have available and just some basic information about them, such as what category they're in. Do they have a training checklist and a training competency associated with them? Yes or no? And then if I actually wanted to drill into one, I could search for the code I want and click on it to actually dig into what's going on the inside. So as you can see on this page here, I can set an image for this task code. I can talk about what it is, what version, the title, the category, and set up any requirements that need to be met before you can assign your 5023 for this. So if there's SOPs that are required or competency trainings or anything like that, we can cover it directly from here just by adding them to the list. And we can also set up what assets that are mine are associated with this task code. And then below is where I can actually create, edit, update all the checklist lines that are going to be in this training. So based on what I have in this list, when the trainer is down in the mine and pulls up that checklist, these are the items that are going to be checked off and in this order. and where you can either set up your own 5023 training information, or we do also offer our consultants can help you build new training information if you've got parts of that's missing. So we also support the training around annual recertifications that you have to do every year. So this list just shows us who's completed their annual recertification, and if I wanted to go see their signatures or see some more information about what they answered on that recertification, I can just click on their row, and I can see their signatures, and I can also see how they answered to each of their recertification training. So if they had a no or a yes, that they are no longer active on that code, it would be able to show here. And those changes are also automatically updated in the training record. So if somebody answers no to an annual recertification question on this page, it's going to automatically shut off that training record for them on this main page. We can also set up contractors in our system quickly and easily by just plugging them in here. So if you want to keep them separate from your regular employees, but they still need to do some training, you can track them all from right there. You can also quickly and easily assign any type of training to any employee on a one-off basis through the Assign Trainings tab. So if somebody needed to get trained on a mucker or something like that real quick, you could just punch it in here, and they would get a notification that they got to go do that training when they're underground. And similar to the 5023 codes, this is the page where you can manage and keep up to date all your SOP information and create new ones. Simply by plugging in the number and sticking in the new SOP document you want them to review. And the last two pages are around workflow. So in our system, any training, any creation of training material can have a workflow, a template assigned to it. And what this basically means is when that action happens in our system, it's going to send out an email notification to whoever is a part of this workflow group. So if you need to approve of a new task code before it goes active to be a training, you could set up a workflow here that says when I create that new task code, automatically send out approval notifications to these 5 people, and don't activate the code until those 5 people have approved of it. So workflows are really useful for setting up and making the process of creating new stuff easy and quick. And that basically covers all the information on what you can do here from the administrative portal. So we're going to go jump over next into the actual native application and see how executing a training actually works.